This is a little bit of a shorter video following up on the situation around Bloodborne. It is the 12th of February when I record this. And the funny thing about this video is essentially that the news is that there is no news. So you might think, well, what's the point of talking about this? It's basically Sony had a state of play today when I record this. And there is an upcoming Bloodborne anniversary, essentially, of its release. People were saying, okay, well, there's all of this DMCA stuff going on. You know, you have way back the creator of Bloodborne Kart having to rename that fan game, non-profit fan game, to Nightmare Kart and having to make it legally distinct, basically with Sony reaching out and talking to them. You have this stuff recently with, I believe his name is Lance McDonald. We talked about that before, which some people seem to hate Lance McDonald. I don't really care either way who he is. The man could be a saint or he could be a serial killer. I still think you shouldn't abuse copyright law when you're a company. Well, he had his Bloodborne patch DMCA'd. I've seen some people try and say like, oh, well, he deserves it. I don't care if he deserves it or not. I don't like copyright abuse. There is legal precedent now defending mods, defending customizing your software, modding your software, essentially. So you had him being gone after and having to delist his Bloodborne 60 FPS patch and essentially make it so that you couldn't access it through his means. Although thankfully people have already re-uploaded it a lot of times, so Sony can kind of kick rocks on that. You have, honestly, there was a situation around the Bloodborne demake, which was essentially a short, almost technical demo, short game in the PS1 style of Central Yarnum and of the Hunter's Dream that was made by fans, again, non-profit, just a fun little fan experience, that getting DMCA action, essentially. So you have Sony out here flexing their big boy PP and essentially whipping it around on the table like an alpha male, trying to go after people with their copyright. And the honestly, the copium that everyone was huffing at the time was, okay, well, this must mean that they're doing the remake right now. They're going to announce it. They're going to put it at the state of play, or there's going to be a remaster or this or that. Just wait. It'll be worth it. Like, yeah, this kind of sucks, but like, whatever. Let Sony cook. They're cooking. And it's very possible that they are going to release, a remaster or remake of this game. In fact, I would say it's almost a certainty, at least at some point. It might not be tomorrow. It might not be this year. But I think at some point, the money on the table is a certainty that they will. But what bothers me is you not only have these people who are so stupid that they will defend Sony's actions on these things because they're like a big console warrior, right? Like they love PlayStation so much they'll defend it. I like PlayStation. I have a PlayStation, I have an Xbox, I have a gaming PC. I'm not rich. I saved up money from hard work to get these things over time. And so people will be so set in their little console warrior thing that they'll either be like, yeah, fuck Sony, I love Xbox, they suck. Or they'll be like, no guys, Sony, they're actually playing 4D chess, and this is really important that they go after these things with the copyright law. It's real important, guys. And it's like, it's so funny to me that we've now entered an era where people are so brain dead and so conditioned for their platform that they're going to defend DMCA abuse. They're gonna defend copyright law abuse because they don't like who it's used against. Again, Lance McDonald himself, he could be outed for murdering 15 people. That has nothing to do, which, well, let's just hope he didn't. I don't think there's any indication of that. But people don't like him because of his games journalism opinions and stuff like that. I'll say I disagree with some of his opinions too. I think some of his opinions are just bad. But he could be outed for being a serial killer for all I care, and I would still say there's no correlation here. There's no correlation between the type of person you are and a company weaponizing copyright law, in my opinion, to slam it around as a way to flex and as a way to essentially bully the fandom. That's what this kind of stuff is, like forcing people to change names on their fan projects, forcing people to delist fan mods or, fan hacks or tweaks or whatever. We're not talking about you take this stuff, you go online and you're at a competitive advantage. We're talking about somebody uncapping a frame rate to play a game offline. a single player game just by themselves. That's what we're defending here. I usually don't go like full mask off, like angry when it comes to things like this, but it genuinely makes me mad because I feel like people defending this, you either have to be very uninformed, which like I will excuse that one. I understand that no one can be informed on every issue. But at that point, it's like, why have an opinion on it, vocally? Or you have to just be disingenuous or stupid to actually defend what Sony is doing. Even if there is a remake or remaster coming out, this state of play with the upcoming anniversary was the thing people were pointing to as, guys, just fingers, and you know what? It'll happen. Don't worry, don't worry about it. This stuff, it's all legal red tape. Not actually that big of a deal. It'll happen. Don't worry. You're going to be okay. I'm sure the stuff will get reinstated. It's probably just an overzealous legal team building up to this release. And yet here we get, to February 12th, the show is over and there's no announcement. There's nothing. Again, even if they do this, even if they did reveal this here, I'd still be like annoyed because there's no excuse for copyright abuse. It's something that genuinely, the laws are outdated. They're archaic. And they should be fixed. But even without any announcement, it's even worse. So I just find this whole situation funny. It's just kind of like a final follow-up until there's more with it. Because this is not the way that someone like, in my opinion, Shuhei Yoshida would have wanted PlayStation to conduct their business. But again, they don't care. It's the same thing like with Iwata. When Iwata died for Nintendo, immediately they went in on everything the man didn't like. It was like, yeah, it's too bad he died, yeah, but fuck him. Let's do all the things that he said he was against. It's kind of like that. Like the companies, they don't have any morals. They don't have any actual backbone. It's just whoever is in power, and if they want to be a dick, they'll be a dick. Especially if the person ahead of them, or behind them, I should say, who was previously in charge, wasn't a dick. And they're like, finally, my time to shine. Let's swing it around. It's just very bizarre and sad. And I think, to me, it's like I'm almost more disappointed in people being so either uninformed or dumb to defend those actions than I am in the company. Like, I have no faith in companies. I know companies are kind of bad, just in general, when they get above a certain size. There's a lot of great people at these companies. There's probably thousands of good people who work at or for Sony. Probably thousands of bad ones too, but there's a lot of great ones. There's a lot of great people that work for Nintendo. But when you get up there to that upper leadership, it's like as soon as the guy before them dies or retires or steps down or anything, as soon as they're out of the way, the next guy wants to come in and prove himself. The next guy wants to come in and flex all this muscle. And really all it does is kill goodwill and kills interest. I got multiple comments from people even saying stuff like, yeah, I would have been interested in buying a Bloodborne sequel or remaster or whatever, but they ignored it for 10 years, so I just played it on emulation. Or I've gotten people saying, oh yeah, well, when they do stuff like this, it just makes me less likely to buy the game. But they don't care. Like, the company doesn't care because there's so few of you that are actually willing to, that are going to be affected by these things, or that will even speak out about it, that they don't care because they think they can do whatever they want. It's just sad to me. I don't know. It's kind of a final update until more comes out. I hope you have a good day, and as always, everyone, stay shui.